Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative Eddie Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. We talking sports. Power's back. I'm back. We're back. And with that being said, it's another episode of your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. Shout out to everybody that survived Hurricane. What was the hurricane name? Be live. The name
Debbie.
escapes me. Yes, Hurricane Debbie. To all those that survived Hurricane Debbie, shout out to y'all. Also to us up here in Northeast Ohio who survived through a weird microburst, which came through, raised hell, knocked trees down. We lost power for a few days, but nevertheless, still standing. We are still here. And yeah, thank you for the support. With that being said, let me shut up with my incoherent rambling. Not only do I have one, but I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? And I want to give a big shout out to the Fayetteville Fire Department. They tried to evacuate me when it was flooding because it was almost to my door.
Ooh.
They came out. They came out with the raft, and I was like, "Ooh, this is it. I appreciate it, but I don't even know where I'm going, and I think I'm good. I like my I like my house. I like my amenities, my Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
and my snacks my hurricane snacks that I had. And if anybody knows me and what I mean by hurricane snacks, I mean my beer. I didn't want to leave beer behind.
You need food, son. You need food.
I had food. I had a bag of chips.
So who do you think was happier after that encounter, you or the raft?
Oh boy.
See that is so not necessary. I done told you about fat shaming on the show. You can't get around it this time. No, the other times you be towing the line. Now that was straight fat shaming, and I'm not going to have it.
You have long legs. You have long legs.
Shut up.
To get in the.
Shut
Listen, Mr. Sports Bros Podcast. Don't be shutting me up.
Oh, God. Oh, Ed, please, can you just help me? God.
All right, and the other guy, he is the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, a.k.a. the pain in B-Live's ass and the thorn in his side. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the soccer team who won that gold for me.
Wow.
I watched it.
You watched the women's soccer game?
I did.
It was very good, wasn't it?
Oh, memorable. Memorable. So good. So exciting. Our team scored the goal.
Yep, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. One goal wins every game. And that day, we got it. USA women. The beautiful game. They called it the beautiful game. And it really was. It was a beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful game. Well played. USA soccer is back. We are back, baby. Back where we belong, on top of the world. And it really was a thing of beauty.
Oh, wow. Hey, you know what? I was like, I hope the girls win. I hope the girls win. And guess what? They won.
I actually almost stood up at one point.
You did?
Yeah, I almost stood. It was so good. It was so exciting. Should we talk about, let's talk about Olympics, Eddie Cool.
You know what? That's what we're going to do. We were going to talk about the AFC and AFC East and NFC East, but we're going to flip it up. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. Just like that, fellas, the Olympics have come and gone. A lot went on between Noah Lyles passing out, running. And found out he had COVID.
He had the
It was,
cocoa.
yep, there was a bronze medal overturned, and an American suffered from it.
Mm.
Meanwhile, our basketball teams did what they did, and the women's soccer team did what they did the most. All right, folks. With that being said, takeaways from the Olympics. Be live. I'll start with you first.
All right, let's start off with one thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the future. Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games, they will not have breakdancing.
Oh,
That was so short-lived. Maybe they have hope in 2032, but it is not making a return to the Los Angeles Games. Oh my God. I don't know what I actually expected it to be, but it wasn't nowhere near what I expected. It was amateur level. I've seen better breakdancing routines like on the streets of New York, and I mean literally like that was for a world competition. I guess I get it.
No, I
You know what?
don't. I don't get it. I don't get
I
it.
don't get it at all. You're right.
I don't know
I'm
how
not
did
even.
it make it in there. How did it get by it? I mean, there's no MMA, no Ninja Warrior stuff, but breakdancing? No
yeah.
Breakdance.
baseball, no baseball, but
It
breakdancing's in there.
breakdance.
It was interesting for about 5 minutes, and then it wasn't good. You know what I think bothered me most about it was the music. It was just like general canned cheese.
Generic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like
It was
maybe I would
very
like it
generic.
better if they were playing Houdini. You know,
The
if I
freaks
heard the
come
freaks
out
come
at
out at
night.
night or something,
Freaks
you
come
know,
out at night. What?
Grandmaster Flash is in the background. I might liked it a little bit better, but yeah, it was. I didn't get it. I mean, it was okay for a couple minutes, but I can't see how that's an Olympic sport, and it's not, right. They already did decide not to bring it back, correct?
Well, each whole city they get a choice of like certain games that they want to include. LA said
Oh,
no, but here's something that's going to disappoint you. LA also decided that boxing was not going to make it.
oh, really? You know,
No.
I
Yeah.
didn't even see boxing this time. I missed almost all of it. I mean, I know that there was like the controversy about the woman with the XY chromosomes and all that stuff, but I didn't actually see any of that or the men's. I never caught it. I never caught into
It
it.
it was it that was another thing that even though like the time frame and everything like that with I think France is 6 hours ahead of us or something like that.
Right? Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so I mean just getting used to stuff like that. I'd wake up in the morning at 8 o'clock and I'm like, oh, let me try this. And then the nights where I'm like up until 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh, I'll catch a little bit of Olympus on the side or whatever. But it really
When
wasn't
are
a
you
big
sleeping?
never.
Never.
This is man, oh man, you don't even want to hear my schedule on Wednesday. Wednesdays are the worst. I mean, I leave my house at 8:30 in the morning, and I don't see it again until 2:30 in the morning. So that's my
Ooh.
Wednesday. So I stay on the grind. The money ain't gonna stop, and these bill collectors ain't stopping. I promise you that. But
How about
neither
that?
here nor there.
Heard.
I want to say this because I definitely don't want to talk about breakdancing this entire time. I want everybody to understand more than anything. I am especially thankful for living and being in the United States of America, and because we are definitely treating our women better than most countries. Our women outperform in almost every sport. I mean, from swimming to of course gymnastics, soccer, rugby, basketball. It was pretty much all. I mean, and it's one of those things where the skill level of our women compared to other countries in the world, it showed in this particular Olympiad, and I was like, I was on the edge of my seat watching these women perform. Rugby. How often do I watch rugby? But I'm sitting there watching rugby. How often am I watching beach volleyball? Now that's one. I mean, then again, that's a very particular.
Yeah, there are some good things to watch there. Very, very good, very competitive
Ah,
athletes. Very competitive athletes. That's what I
and
mean.
then all in all, at the end of the day, that helped with us tying China with most golds in 40, and then of course having the overall medals lead. The United States is superior in certain things, especially in the sports world. And it's one of those things being able to unify for such a time as this. And then because it's going to be a mess the next few months, and we're not even going to get into that. Scotty D, what did you take away from these Olympics in Paris, France?
Well, I'd like to know how it is that Jason Tatum gets 11 minutes in a gold medal game, yet the Jimmer gets plenty of starts, plenty of game time for the Jimmer. Couldn't Tatum play 3-on-3, get a little win us a goal? He could have won that goal by himself. No, we're sending up the Jimmer over and over again, the Jimmer. So that's the biggest head scratcher of the entire Olympics. No, listen, I'll tell you, I watched that the U.S. France men's basketball game, and the finish that Steph Curry had, the performance, is one of those games, one of those finishes that you're always going to talk about. That was like a historic performance way he finished when France just wouldn't go away and got close to the United States. Steph just started throwing in threes, making threes. That last one had no business going in with two men on him. First of all, he probably shouldn't have even shot it because he had two other NBA Hall of Famers wide open on the other wing. But he shoots it knowing I'm making this, and that was unbelievable. It was so cool to watch that. You see him do that against LeBron, against KD, against whoever, and this time he was for those guys, doing that for them, so that they all could eventually end up with that gold medal around the neck. Man, that's just one of those things. Steph Curry has a lifetime of memorable performances already, but this might have been the icing on his cake. I mean, that's one that you're always going to talk about. That's just always going to be remembered as just a phenomenal performance. That was so cool to see that, and it made me think Jimmer couldn't have done that. No way, Jimmer doesn't pull that off. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was my biggest takeaway. And I did watch the women's soccer, and I was glad that they won. It was a struggle for me to get through it because
it's not your sport. I get it.
Well, here's the thing: they play on a field. The official size of a soccer field is 5 acres by 3 acres. That's how much room they have to play, and yet the ball is out of bounds constantly. It's always out of bounds. They just keep kicking. You got 5 acres over there, and you're going to be over here on the sideline, and just keep booting it out of bounds and throwing it over the thing where they throw it over the head, and then everyone jumps and tries to.
Yeah, when they headed it, header, yeah.
And the goalies should be allowed to wear the same color as the teams. Come on, man. That's
you are that's
silly. That is silly.
Okay, so you're gonna say something about women's volleyball too, where the one person has a different uniform than the rest? Is that what we're doing?
They probably could change that too, but that doesn't bother me as much as the soccer. I mean, you got one person standing on one end of the field by themselves under a giant net. You're kind of gonna figure that person's the goalie, right? You have to have a different color to make that person stand alone.
Hockey's got it. They got a different helmet. They got a bigger glove, and they got blockers and stuff. I mean,
yeah, they're padded up differently. But
where should we stop with the comparison? I don't think.
Because a goalie is wearing the same thing, t-shirt and shorts, like the rest of the team, but they want to have a different color. Why not at least have the same color? Maybe a different jersey, but same color. Why do you have to have a different color? That doesn't make any sense.
To show you that
the hockey goalie's still wearing his team's colors.
To show you that I am the goalie, and I got gloves too. So
that's silly.
Yep,
anyway, and the clock is going up. You
don't like the running clock? Is that
no? It's stupid. It's stupid.
So you want time to stop it? You want the game to be extra long? No, you
don't have to stop at that. You don't have to stop it. You're stopping it anyway. I mean, you're still going to have the extra time at the end. Just count the clock down. Just count it down so I can see how much time's left. Stop it. Just stop the clock. Every other sport's able to pull it off. I mean, this one with no scoring at all, you can't stop the clock every once in a while. Whenever one of these people lays on the ground and hurt, oh, my shin hurts. Oh, come on.
tell you what, when the world comes,
USA, we
when the
won.
world comes together, I can tell you one thing about soccer that I want to happen that the rest of the world does do. Start these kids off younger.
Yeah.
Start up these soccer academies that every other country does. These kids start literally living soccer at in their preteens. They're going to soccer academies.
Yeah, there's too
And
many
every other,
options here. There's too many options. Those other countries don't do anything else.
hey, and that's why we're behind them in the world sport. I mean, that's why we have all these other sports that no other country focuses on. Like
Yeah, we beat them in basketball. The women's basketball team got the gold.
No. All right, so let's see. My moment from the Olympics, I would have to say the performance of Steph Curry. I was like, what is he doing? Is he going to shoot? Is he? He shot it, and he kept shooting. He kept keep shooting. He kept shooting. He kept on shooting. He couldn't be touched. And then finally, when he went ahead and looked at the crowd and just said, "I said, uh-oh."
it's over.
Yeah,
It was over.
When he laid that head on them praying hands and went to sleep, I said, "Oh, it's over with. It's over with." And they said, Victor Wembanyama, ooh, he was mad. Ooh, I can understand it because someone came into your house and beat you for a gold medal. I would feel some kind of way too. He was like, you know what? Give me 4 years. I'm gonna come back and get you. So don't be surprised if we see this big onslaught of French basketball players just trying to mollywop the whole
Yeah,
world.
yeah, you're right, Eddie. They're going to get their chance to return the favor in 4 years.
Mm.
And some of these guys probably will not be on that team. I mean, don't put it past LeBron to play out 4 more years in LA and say I want to play here, or if Steph's still shooting, I don't know. There's a good chance some of these guys are aging that they probably won't. We're not going to see that exact same team again, and that's why the younger guys, the next generation of stars, have to step up. Anthony Edwards being the guy, and Jason Tatum being the guy. Those guys will have to step up for the next one. But if you're Wembayana, what is he, 18, 19 years old?
19,
I
I think.
understand. Yeah, whatever it is. I understand him being disappointed because you lost a game. But there's no shame in losing to that team. That team is amazing. I mean, it's just some of the greatest stars to ever play in the NBA on that team. And they were better. And France hung with them. I mean, there was no shame for France. They played really, really well and never gave up when the U.S. the U.S. would get an 11-point lead, and then France would come and run back, and they hung right in there with them. So, that France team, who knows with Wembanyama? I mean, he's 9'12", I think, and young, and going to only continue to get better. But don't shoot threes. Don't shoot threes whenever your team's trying to make a catch up. Don't do that.
It's in his repertoire. That's it.
But don't. What's a higher percentage shot for that guy? A three or putting your hand over the rim and dropping it in?
Which he can literally do. He can literally just go. Ploop.
Yeah.
Speaking of French basketball, remember the name Gershon Yabusele.
I'll remember that.
See, there you go. Your mouth.
No, I know who you talk about. He was the big guy. Played very well.
Yes, he played very well.
Had the afro. Big guy underneath. Played very well.
Yes. Yep. Dunked over LeBron.
That was sweet. That was sweet.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. He is a former Celtic. He was in the NBA, but he now plays for Real Madrid. But something tells me that there's going to be a team calling him up. Be like, yo, come on back over to the States. Because he made a statement. So that's what I'm saying. Remember the name. Gershon Yabusele. I can see him.
I can't remember that.
The NBA. I know.
I can't remember it.
You're old.
I remember who he is. Yeah, I'm too old to remember stuff like that. I'll remember who he is.
What about Zachary Ricochet or Zachary Ricochet? What about him?
I have no idea who that is. So
no, he got drafted in the top 5, I think, right? Or top 10?
Yeah, he's from France. Yeah. Zachary Ricochet or Zachary Ricochet.
I forget who picked him, but yeah, he's.
I don't see him on this roster, so
I don't think he was on the Olympic roster.
He wasn't. But remember, but remember the name is
Ricochet.
Zachary Ricochet. All right, let's go ahead and switch from Olympics to the National Football League. Right about now, fellas, it's training camp. We've had some live football on TV. Um, and I'm happy. I'm like, look, we got live football. It might be meaningless. It might be meaningful to somebody, meaningful for them guys trying to get a job. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the Eastern divisions. With that being said, the AFC East, we have the Bills, we have the Jets, we have the Dolphins, and we have the Patriots. What do we think about that division, fellas, and who eventually is going to win it?
Oh, man, the AFC East is just mired with just mess.
Yeah.
It's just a whole bunch of mess there because you got Josh Allen, who threw the most interceptions, but he's the next best thing. I don't know which side he want to be on, but who's he throwing the ball to at this point in time? Because he lost his two best targets, so now that's even more weight on his shoulders. Then you got old man Aaron Rodgers and the new Jersey Jets, New York Jets. I know they play in New Jersey. I always joke with that. Is he going to last 17 games? He didn't even last 17 seconds last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I mean, he done skipped every mandatory camp that there was supposed to be in New York. So we don't know exactly if the chemistry is there. Then you got, I'm not even gonna mention New England, that's whatever. And then you got Miami with the fastest people on earth. Tua got his new contract. Everybody, I think everybody got paid in Miami. That's going to be a talking point about the NFC East in a minute because everybody got paid in Miami.
See what you did there.
I
See what you did there. I saw that.
I am going to I'm gonna pick the Miami Dolphins. I think they're the ones that have everything in place finally. I wonder about their defense at times, but Miami can score on anybody. So I think they win. I think they win a division. And yeah, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in Buffalo nor the Jets this year. I don't. I think they both missed the playoffs. And New England they're gonna be fighting Carolina for the worst spot in the NFL this year. I don't know.
Oh,
Did I just say that already out loud? That's
no,
how optimistic I am about my Panthers right now.
it's called being honest, Be Live. That's what it's called. It's called being honest. Exactly.
It comes from a hurt place. It comes from a hurt place. But yeah, Miami Dolphins, that's my pick.
All right, Scotty D, what say you? AFC East.
I am going to agree that the Patriots will be last. That's kind of easy. And then the other three I've shuffled a few times, but I think the Bills will end up eking out a playoff spot, but I think that Miami is going to edge them in the division, and I think a lot of it's because the Bills don't truly have a number one receiver at this point, and I think Josh Allen's due to get hurt. I hate saying that, but the guy runs like a running back, and running backs get hurt. And this has always been my knock on the athletic quarterback, the running quarterback, is that they run too much, and eventually you get hurt and you hurt your team. And Josh Allen is, I hate saying he's due for one of them. He's due to get, even if it's a bruised ribs where he has to miss 3 games or something like that. I'm going with the Dolphins to win the division. I'm going with Bills second. And I think Aaron Rodgers is a injury ticking time bomb too. And I mean, there's just so many questions with that. Now they got Reddick requesting the trade. I mean, there's always chaos around the Jets. You'd think they would wear silver helmets with blue stars with how much drama and chaos is going on around that team. So I'm going to agree with B Live, and I'm going to pick the Dolphins also in a close one, maybe a game over the Bills. 10-7 Dolphins.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the Dolphins because speed kills, and they got a lot of it. And like B Live alluded to earlier, they all got paid. Everybody's coming back. Tua's gonna be better. You got a healthy Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. What's the random A Chain in the backfield, Mostert in the backfield. So that's a high octane, high powered offense who will pile up points. We saw what they do. We saw what they did to Denver last year, so I think they'll probably be averaging 35 points a game, which is good, which is a high clip. The Bills, I don't know what to say.
It's hard not to pick them because they have
Yeah.
been like the division standard for the last 3 years or so. But
Yeah, like you said, Scott, it's hard not to pick them, but it's just like everybody else. My concern is wide receiver. I mean, who you got? I mean, you got Keon Coleman, and then you got what's the other dude? Sharif. You have him too. And so, is you gonna try to make it work? And then, like you said, Scotty D's Josh Allen is one good blow away from bruised ribs and missing 3 weeks, and then playoff hopes go down the drain. So I think Buffalo gets in, but by the skin of their teeth. Dolphins 1, Bills 2, Jets 3, Patriots 4. Because come on, man, I won't be surprised if we see Joe Milton off the bench. All right, sometime this season. Reason being, I say that's because Joe Milton was looking good. He's looking real good. Looking real good.
They say that Joe Milton has been outperforming who they
Drake May.
Drake May. Yeah, they
Yeah.
say that Joe Milton's been outperforming Drake May in camp. So we shall see.
Yeah,
we shall.
Yeah, we shall see. I'm just saying, and I think with the whole Jets situation, I don't know what version of Aaron Rodgers I'm going to get. Ayahuasca, ashwagandha, askawashka. I don't know what version of him I'm going to get. I hope Brees Hall comes back healthy. And as you alluded to earlier today, Scotty D, Hassan Ray said, I want to trade. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. You got an elite pass rusher already asked to get the hell up out of there. So I just think the Dolphins win the division. The Dolphins, they strong arm the division. Moving over to the NFC East, we have the Commanders, the Cowboys. The Commanders, the Cowboys. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. I'm lying. The Commanders, Cowboys, the Giants, and
the Eagles.
And the Eagles. 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 And I'm not going to sing that song anymore. Scotty, we're going to say the best for last. B-Lab, what say you?
This one is let me go ahead and get the trash talk out of the way. Sky D, you know what I'm gonna say. The Cowboys are a wreck. Ooh. What do they want?
Ooh, that's what Jera would have you believe.
You think that he has something up his sleeve and this is all an act, as opposed to
he's a Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. He knows what he's doing.
We've been saying that for 29 years.
Ever.
Like, it's been a long time since the Cowboys have won anything. Man, this is a train wreck. Like, it's ridiculous how talented the Cowboys are. For them and now this is a mess of their own doing. They should have paid somebody something. Is Dak worth $60 million? That's always going to be the conversation. Is CeeDee Lamb worth $30 million? Is Micah Parsons worth $28 million? So that until they fix that mess.
So what are you supposed to do? Invest a 40% of your payroll in 3 guys that couldn't win a playoff game last year?
If they would have went ahead and paid somebody at some point in time.
If they you always say, but this happened
the
to
price
other teams
that
people always say, man, these guys are overpaid, and Jerry Jones is actually not doing it. He's criticized for it.
He's criticized for it because now you have 3 players that are just like, when am I gonna get my coin?
3 of them are under contract, by the way.
Here we go.
3 players under contract.
All right, under contract. There you go with that. He said they should work for what they signed for. All right, cool. I'm not gonna have this argument with you today. Your Cowboys are in a mess. You admit that
they are under contract.
I admit that they're in a mess. Cowboys will make it to the playoffs. They'll make a wild card. The Eagles will win the division. I think with the addition of Saquon Barkley, that is a piece that makes them formidable. Eagles win the division. Cowboys make it just for the sheer strength of their talent. They'll make a wild card position there, and they'll disappoint you once again.
No, they won't. No, they won't. In order to be disappointed, you have to have expectations.
So, but they're on the contract, though. You don't have any expectations. but they're in a contract. So yeah, go ahead. The last time I checked, it's a sport. You play to win, but they're under contract.
To win the game.
That's
What's
what
that
I'm
have to do with
saying.
me expecting whether they're going to win or not?
Well, if
My
I mean,
expectations are low. My expectations are low from for this team.
but they're under contract though.
All right.
I'm not making the connection.
So with that being said, all right. So before we do this again, with that being said, I think the Cowboys get in. They get a wild card spot. The Eagles became more dangerous because they have a solid threat in running back with Saquon Barkley. Hopefully, Sirianni and Hurts can figure out what in the hell is going on and get that symmetry and chemistry going, working together again because it was electric. The first, not this season, but the season before, it was damn to the Super Bowl, and then last year the bottom fell out, and hopefully they can, fix that up so that won't happen again. The Cowboys, somebody got to sign somebody, but I don't know who. And somebody gonna be holding out, left in the rain. And no. Washington, I don't care. New York, I don't care neither. So it's gonna be a two-team race between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Now I'm along with Be Live. The Eagles somehow, some way, find a way to win the division. All right, Scotty D, the floor is yours.
Well, here's the thing. I think we kind of know what we're getting from the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
We
No, we don't.
know we know Dak's going to play, so we know they're going to win some regular season games and probably fail if they make the postseason. We know there's probably you could probably, barring a Dak ankle twisting injury, you could probably pencil the Cowboys in at about 9 to 10 wins. It's the rest of the division around them, I think, that are the question mark. I didn't hear about any issues between Jalen Hurts and Coach Sirianni until like a week ago. Now all of a sudden they're saying there was friction between these two guys all last year and that they have to get that ironed out. That was a team that started off looking like a Super Bowl contender and finished, I think, 1-6 and bowed out quietly out of the playoffs. So there's some issues there. And I said going into the season last year, I thought things were going to be a little weird because they lost their coordinators. They got plucked off the coaching tree, but then and they lost a lot of free agents going into last season. But then they start off so hot, we forgot about all that. Well, then that kind of came to a head. So was there some tension there between Sirianni and Jalen Hurts? Well, now we got new coordinators again. Kellen Moore's coming in, and Vic Fangio's coming in, and there's a two head coach experience or candidate kind of guy. So if there is Sirianni problems, he could be on a hot seat pretty early if the Eagles come out of the gate like 1-3 or 2-4 or something like that. If they get that straightened out, they added some defensive players, they should win that division, I think, just because the Cowboys did not go all in. They lost players, they weakened. The Commanders are the team to watch, though. They could be, if Jaden Daniels has a decent rookie year, they could be the Houston Texans of 2024. If that kid is the CJ Stroud, so to speak, of this season, they could actually, they have a good team otherwise. They need quarterback and they need a head coach, and they got those two things. And he brought in Kingsbury, has pretty good track record. Other than, it wasn't as great as a head coach, but as a coordinator, pretty good coach. So the Giants are definitely going to be in the basement. I know that much. I'm putting them in the basement. But I'm also going to go, I hate to say it, because nobody repeats in that division as a division winner, and going with the Eagles. Cowboys will get a wild card as the number 2 seed.
Look at us agreeing on both sides.
Yeah, we're all three across the board in both picks. We gotta shake this up next week. We gotta mix it up.
Jaden Daniels, my early pick for Rookie of the Year.
Jaden Daniels, okay. I can't wait to see him. I just can't. It's football, fellas. We're a few weeks away for some real meaningful football that actually counts. So happy about that. So happy about that. And go ahead and be live.
Spot the ball. I'm ready.
Yeah, spot the ball. Spot the damn ball. All right. With that being said, as I'm looking at my phone, because I haven't yet to get a watch, but I'm gonna get one soon. Though I'm gonna get one soon. I gotta give Courtney to use. Guess what time it is?
What time is it? What's going on right now?
Time
What's
for
happening?
goalies to wear the same color shirts as the other soccer players on their team. That's what time it is.
That just
Oh, oh,
I
I'm
don't know
glad.
what time it is because the clock is going up. Tell us what time it is.
All right, I'm glad you asked. It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, yo, button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming at you right here on the Sports Bros podcast. Fits in your face. That's what we do. We'll be right back.
Did Megan Rapinoe score a goal in the?
No.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
ever so lovely Miss Button
for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. We ask y'all a question, y'all give us the answer. We also give you guys our answer too, but we having good, clean fun right here on your favorite segment, the choices of the voices. With that being said, Scott, what's on tap for this week's choices of the voices?
All right, we asked you to predict who is going to be the 2024 NFL rushing leader. And Eddie Cool, what did the people say?
They said, oh, it's going to be Black Snow. No, anyways, all right, here we go. Tom Wynn said, for you to even put Zeke's picture up in this conversation leads me to believe that you may have fallen off the wagon or bumped your head. So
the return of Zeke.
So somehow, some way, Scotty D, his answer became about you. Ain't that something?
Yeah. did he actually pick anybody though? I don't think he did.
Well, Scott Donnelly said caught your attention, didn't it? So who's your pick? Tom Wynn says.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. Tom Wynn says, I'll take a long shot and go with a former Wake Forest Demon Deacon, Kenneth Walker III.
Seattle, right?
Yes.
Okay. I ain't mad at that at all. That's actually that's a really well-informed answer. With Geno Smith, Geno Smith is he's your serviceman. He's good. Mm-hmm. He ain't great, but to have somebody at workhorse and running back to take some of the pressure off of Geno, I can see that.
I like that answer.
I should consider that for a couple of these fantasy drafts coming up.
I like that answer.
I like that answer.
All right.
Here we go.
So Trey Dizzle said, what did he say? Did he say anything?
Well, there was a lot of, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in here. There were a lot of comments of why Scott put Zeke's picture there. And he got a lot of people's.
It was just to kind of catch their attention.
Yeah.
What?
It worked, but it didn't didn't necessarily result in an answer from Trey Dizzle, I don't think.
Yeah, he's like he said he came to the comments just to say, why the hell is Zeke here?
Yeah, why the hell is Zeke here? Yeah.
I'm going to assume, Scott, this was you saying you're going with Deuce Vaughn.
You're going with Deuce Vaughn. All right.
Oh, yeah, I think it was me put that on there. Yeah.
then Trey Dizzle said, going with tanking for a quarterback. What in the world? Let's move right along from this foolishness. Uncle Max, our Hall of Famer, what's going on, man? He says, don't count out King Derrick Henry. Ooh, I like that. Don't count him out. All right.
One quick question with that. Because the offense is so tailored around Lamar Jackson, do you see Derrick Henry actually leading in rushing yards or being complimentary to Lamar Jackson?
That's going to be an interesting fit.
Because
Derrick Henry's he's great, no question, but it's almost like he wears defenses down as the game goes on. He pounds the defense. He wears those guys down. Is he going to be that kind of focal point of this offense? And is he going to be able to get into his rhythm and get 20 plus carries a game? I don't know. At this point, his body may not want 20 carries a game. This might be the perfect role for him, but I don't know that he'll lead a league in rushing because of that. Like you're saying, that style that he's playing with, not being the center of the offense. Yeah.
There's one on the other side. I can see he's still capable of putting up the yards. Like
Yeah,
that's
no
one thing
question.
people. Yeah, he's capable of doing. It's just the system that he's in, and it's a beautiful system because Lamar Jackson has showed it up because they've had injuries at running back over and over and over and over again. Where Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson's like, man, I got to do this. Now he doesn't
yeah.
have to do it. But does that say that Derrick Henry is going to lead in yards? I don't see that, but he's capable of it. So I'm not mad at this answer at all. Hey, that's what we're here for, to debate the debate those things. Yes, sir.
All right. Brett Gambita, he says Bijan Robinson. Now that Arthur Smith is out at Atlanta. That's a possibility too.
Atlanta. Oh, I can't
Ugh,
believe I'm going to say this. They're loaded with talent, and Arthur
loaded.
Smith did misuse the heck out of them. Like that Kyle Pitts wasn't a pivotal part of the offense. Bijan Robinson did put up good yards. This is very, very well could be a possibility. I don't want it to be,
We
but
don't.
I just say I got to take it for what it is at this point. I mean, shoot, Bijan Robinson is that dude. He is that dude. So hey, more power to him. Not really more power to him because I don't want the Falcons to do anything right ever.
Best of
But
luck to you, pal. Yeah,
yeah,
have a good
right.
season, pal. Have a okay season. All right, so we got Matty Ice Martin Tracy. He said this dude will get over 1,000 yards rushing for sure. But if you count the 15 plus TDs he's going to get just running and the few he'll get catching, he is on a team he could break some records for scoring, even if he ain't the rushing yardage leader. Remember, I told you he will be on all fantasy teams I play on. I can't get him. Derrick Henry. Okay, that's two for King Henry.
And he actually explained it as well about how he might not lead in rushing yards, but
Mm-hmm.
scoring could very well be when they get deep into those trenches. He is still that dude. So, hey, Matty Ice coming through with a very nice explanation of his answer. I'm cool with that answer.
I wouldn't want to have to tackle Derrick Henry if the goal line was on my heels.
Nope.
I wouldn't want to have to guard the goal line with that big dude coming at me.
Nope.
I'm saying I gotta try to remember that contract I signed. I'm like, is it worth it? Business decisions.
Yeah, business. Let me lay down right real quick. You lay down at the goal line, you would too. Yeah, John Wasick, he said, didn't Zeke pass out in the lunch line at camp? Come on, man.
please tell me that's not true.
No,
No,
I, I don't think so. I've actually heard nothing Zeke related
nothing.
at all. All I'm hearing about is CD Lamb and Jerry Jones. Actually, I heard someone on the radio the other day. I forget. I listen to a lot of different sports shows. They said, "You think if you could tell Jerry Jones you get to win the Super Bowl this year, you're guaranteed a Super Bowl, but you don't get to do any more radio shows. You're done doing radio talk shows. Do you think you'd do it, or do you think you'd just say, I'll roll the dice?"
Yeah.
Hell no, he like hearing himself talk. No,
Yeah.
no, he ain't gonna do it. He ain't going to do it. That he ain't. Corey Logren said probably Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley. Man, that's the third one for Derrick Henry. Maybe we need to pay attention.
I would have the same argument about Saquon Barkley
Mm-hmm.
with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Like, is he capable of leading in rushing yards? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In the system that he's in, will he lead in rushing yards, splitting carries with Jalen Hurts, or is Jalen Hurts going to try to be more of a passing quarterback? I don't know. And activation, tush push.
Plus, he has Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore liked to put it up. If you remember McCarthy saying, I want to run the damn ball. I don't want to just throw it up like a video game. And then McCarthy threw it more.
When I get a chance, remind me to send y'all the NFL throwback. It's a video. It's called the NFL coaching tree orbit. It is interessante. It is very interesting. Oh my God, it is interesting. Like, damn, I didn't know he was part of that tree. He was a part of that tree, and he came from that tree? No, no in the world. Bryson Seller says, Is this even a question? Y'all know who is going to be number 23, and I don't have the vision in front of me, but I'm assuming the man in San Francisco, California, Christian McCaffrey.
That's going to be my guess as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know any other 23 that's the running back.
Mm-hmm.
Number 23 that's a running back on another team. So now again, is he going to lead in rushing yards or all-purpose yards?
That's the thing.
That's like so. I know I keep putting these down because
right now he is the odds maker's choice to be the rushing leader, and I believe Breece Hall from the Jets is number 2. Those are the top, and I think Taylor the Colts might have been 3. I think those are the top 3 with the best odds.
Okay, all right.
Most of our guys are not picking any of them, but I think McCaffrey gets hurt. I ain't trusting him to not get hurt. He's hurt all the time. He's going to play 17 games.
Well, he just did.
Yeah,
he just did. He proved everything that the Carolina Panthers said about him wrong.
He's going to do it again.
I
agree. I wouldn't put it past him.
They got a better system, better offensive line. I just honestly, he's in a better position and better situation.
I think he was hurt last year. Wasn't he hurt?
Briefly,
I think he was. Yeah, maybe he didn't miss much time, or maybe he didn't miss any game. I thought he missed a couple games last year too. I could be mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So Josh Baker, he says, I just would like to know why Zeke is pictured. Oh my God, you guys! We asked you who's going to lead the NFL in rushing, but somehow, someway, you guys are so damn fixated on the picture of Zeke. Newsflash: he ain't gonna lead the league in rushing, so y'all need to stop. We need to talk about players that are in their prime or that are good now and are going to lead the league in rushing.
How satisfying would it be if he did? Oh my goodness!
Hey, man.
No, that's not. Stop.
Be live.
Let it out.
Be live. Who you got? Who you got?
Well, before I go to my selection, who's going to lead the league in rushing, I have to throw some people into the penalty box because everybody was so distracted by Ezekiel Elliott.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
They didn't answer the question until being interrogated. So winner, chicken dinner, Tom Wynn. Penalty box. You didn't answer the question until Scott asked you.
Get in there, get in there.
Trey Dizzle, penalty box.
Making it slide your ass over, player.
You didn't even give an answer at all, even after you asked. So you were penalty box for a major, not even a minor, a major. I understand that I know you always have the jokes about Zach,
Dak Prescott.
That's what's missing. I knew something was missing. We didn't even have a Dak joke this time around.
Didn't even. Yeah, he just.
No, he did. He did.
He said going with tanking for a QB. So that was his.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to happen. That has nothing to do with rushing yards. That's why he penalty box. Let me see. John Washington. Didn't Zeke pass out on lunch line? That he didn't answer the question. Penalty box. Let's see. Josh, I would just like to know why Zeke is picked. Penalty box.
Slide in there.
Y'all can make all the jokes in the world, but answer the question. Answer the question. That's all we ask for. You read. At some point in time, when we grow larger and bigger, you might not even get read the answer because we're going to edit you out if you don't answer. Right now, we right here with it. Once we start going, hey, more we grow. Hey, answer the question. All right. With that being said, Scotty D, you almost spilled the beans. I didn't like it. Because you mentioned the Vegas odds, and you briefly mentioned my answer that nobody's even talking about. It's going to be Jonathan Taylor. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. What my boy, the quarterback, what's his name again?
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson coming off a major injury. Guess what? They're gonna try to keep the ball out of his hands. There's going to be a lot of quick outs, slants, and then running the ball. He's going to hand the ball off. Jonathan Taylor is going to be that workhorse running back. He's going to get a lot of touches because they're trying to protect their quarterback because and Anthony Richardson, yes, he wants to be out there. He wants to do those big things and make those runs. He wants to try to beat Cam Newton. You see where Cam Newton is right now.
Yeah.
He's on the podcast.
What kind
Ain't
of fuck
nobody
they won? Oh, he's got a ton. Yeah.
he ain't being called up anymore. And Cam Newton is what, 35 years old, 34, 35?
34, yeah.
It's one of those things where they're going to try to keep him in the pocket. Every now he's going to have a flash here, flash there, but they're going to try to protect him. Play calling is going to be as such. Jonathan Taylor is going to get a lot of touches. He will be your rushing leader for 2024. Boom, there it is.
Okay.
That
would not surprise me at all. I am going to go with Bijan Robinson. I think getting Kirk Cousins down there is going to open that up for him because now you have to honor the passing game that you didn't have to a year ago. New fresh blood in there. I don't even know who actually is the Falcons offensive coordinator. Raheem Morris is the new head coach down there. Radio Raheem back in the head coaching ranks. But he's too good of an option to not feature. And with Kirk Cousins coming in to be able to spread the ball around, I'm looking for a big year for Bijan Robinson. Eddie Cool, who you got?
Ramondre Stevenson of the New England Patriots.
Ooh.
Actually, no.
Well, I'm gonna say that I wouldn't be mad at you for that pick. Now,
It's being hard to run with 11 in the box.
And a quarterback that can't throw the damn ball. So
Right.
You gotta fix something. No, I think Ramondre probably finishes within. You know, he might be top 15 or top 10. Ramondre is good when he's healthy. He's good. He's a big, powerful running back. He got to get the hell out of New England. That's the problem. I'm gonna have to roll with Jonathan Taylor, man. I'm gonna have to roll with him because, like you said, B Live, when it comes to Anthony Richardson, they need to get this ball out of his hands as quick as possible. So what's the next best thing? Hand it to the running back. Fullback dive, off tackle power, tall sweep, the give and go, all that. So
and they'll open up the play action game.
Yep. Open up the play action game. Bam, and the coach is gonna be good this year. I just think that a healthy Jonathan Taylor and that O-line coming back at full strength. Remember now, Jonathan Taylor, in the words of Shannon Sharp, he was hell when he was well. He was hell when he was well. So I think Jonathan Taylor's going to remind us exactly who in the hell he is. And he will lead the league in rushing. All right, so shout out to everybody that participated in this week's Choices of the Voices. And with that being said, Scotty D, who you got?
Okay, here. And just a note, Zach Robinson is the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, coming off of the Sean McVay coaching tree. This guy's got future head coach written all over him if he does his job right. Okay, so next week we're going to ask you to share with us a Monday night football game that you remember vividly, a memorable Monday night football game or moment. And make sure it's one that you watched. If you didn't see Joe Theismann snap his leg, if you didn't stay up for that one, or if you weren't born yet, don't pick that one. But give us a memorable Monday night football game or Monday night football moment. And that'll give us something to talk about next week.
Be live. There's two, but I might not go with the obvious.
I got you.
As soon as you said Monday memories, two popped in my head. I was like, I got you. All right, for everybody. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's pretty hard to beat a Monday night game that me and Eddie Coop both went to. So
but I found something.
Right, but that we'll see. I mean, we may steer away from that, but that's definitely memorable. Yes, sir.
Well, then you guys maybe should each have a second bullet in the chamber to talk about next week. Okay,
I'm cool with that.
We just might. With that being said, be live. Go on and grab that pepper grinder. Coming up next, Around the Pepper, right here. Stay. Don't you dare go away. This is your favorite sports podcast. None other than the Sports Bros Podcast. Big finger and all. We'll be right back.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, it's a round of pepper. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really, here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order. With that being said, I'll go first. On this date in history, back in 1948, Satchel Paige, at the age of 42, pitches his first major league complete game. Satchel Paige. Do I gotta say anything else? He's one of the best to ever do it. Over to you, Scotty D.
This coming Saturday night, August 17th, Israel Adesanya, the last style bender, is back in action. Challenger for the middleweight title held by Dricus du Plessis. There's some bad blood between these two guys. If Adesanya wins this fight, he will be the champion once again. If he loses, he will be 1-3 in his last 4 fights. And I've seen this happen to fighters before. You go on a tear, you're really good. Kamaru Usman, you drop one, and then you keep dropping fights. It's happened to Chuck Liddell back in the day. I've seen it happen to fighters before. I hope that this does not happen to Israel Adesanya. I hope next week we're talking about him being the new and again middleweight champion. If not, he'll go from being a great fighter to an above average fighter struggling to get wins. We'll see what happens. UFC this Saturday night. Be Live, over to you.
Oh, man. My first pepper point is a very simple one. Scotty D alluded to it earlier when we were talking about Jimmer Fredette and the 3v3, et cetera, et cetera. Well, at the end of the day, the Netherlands won gold in the 3v3 at the Olympics. And the ultimate opportunist, Ice Cube, was like, hey, I'll put up my big 3 all-stars against the Netherlands. Winner takes $150,000. The Netherlands agreed. Guess who didn't agree?
Who?
FIBA. FIBA said, no, Netherlands, if you venture outside of what we're doing, you're not going to be able to play in the Europe Cup. That is a mere few days after that. No, we're not going to have any of that, sir. Ice Cube is not going to gain any more notoriety on FIBA's back. Nope, we're not going to have it. Ain't happening. Oh, FIBA, come on. Stop sucking the fun out of everything. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Federal International Basketball. Anyways. All right, on this day in history, back in 1993, Scotty D, one of your favorites, Ricky Henderson, was playing for the Toronto Blue Jays at the time. And guess what he did on this day in history?
Stole a base.
Other than stole the base and told the catcher he was going to do it. He pays former teammate at the time, Turner Ward, $25,000 for the number 24. Ricky was like, yeah, that's a nice number 24. I sure would hate to buy that from you. And Turner Ward was like, yeah, let me go ahead and get that $25,000 from you. I ain't mad at me. Yeah, you could have it. You sure can. You want 61 here? No problem. No problem. Over to you, Scotty D.
I remember hearing, I know that there have been other players that have done that. I remember John Kruk being on David Letterman. There was a story where they were talking about, it may have been Ricky Henderson selling his number, and Kruk's like, well, I had a teammate join my team. One of my number, I gave it to him for a case of beer.
Oh, wow. I think I heard that. I think I remember that. I remember that.
I do remember that. Yes. My type of player. Yes, sir.
Speaking of baseball legend, let's talk Buccos. About 10 days ago, the Buccos were rocking, taking 2 out of 3 in Houston. The trade deadline came. The Buccos made a couple moves. The fans of Pittsburgh were excited. And then they dropped 9 out of their last 10 games, 9 of the next 10, including 7 in a row. Paul Skeens is getting beat. Bednar is getting beat. And the Pirates are now in last place in their division. When this all started, they were 2 games out of the wild card. Buccos, do better. Be Live. Put me out of my misery.
Nick York.
I'm in some misery myself because the Braves are only a half a game in the final wild card position. They're
banged up and they're relevant. The Pirates, it's not the same. Be Live. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling your pain on this one.
It's pain though. It is pain.
It is pain. It's pain.
But the team is literally hurt.
Exactly. Yeah, they were in a lot of pain.
Man. All right. My second pepper point. You mentioned earlier about Noah Lyles and having COVID, 102 fever, and everything. Well, Noah Lyles is still sick of USA basketball. And one player in particular he's sick of. Ant-Man Anthony Edwards, because he's sick of him and he's sick of Adidas. Because Adidas invited Noah Lyles, because Noah Lyles is an Adidas athlete. They invited Noah Lyles to Anthony Edwards' shoe debut. Like he has a signature shoe. Anthony Edwards has, and Adidas invited Noah Lyles, and Noah Lyles was like, "You want to invite me to an event for a man who has not even been to an NBA Finals?" He is destined
Woo.
to. He said, "Y'all ain't world champions. Y'all ain't won nothing. Maybe USA basketball. Okay, can't really say anything about that. USA basketball throws back like, hey, we ain't fighting for bronze." My man got a bronze medal with 102 fever. God, that's still crazy. But Noah Lyles was like, wait a minute, bro. I've been doing all of this stuff. I've been winning. I've been on top of my game. And he gets a shoe? Salty. Petty. And the saga continues. Eddie Cool. The ball.
Ant-Man ain't the one you want to mess with, son. That's all I got to say. Ant-Man is not the one you want to mess with. All right, so to close out the Olympic conversation once and for all until 2028 on this day in history, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, one of the best to ever do it. She ties a world record with a long jump with 24 feet and 5.5 inches. Jackie Joyner-Kersee, I ain't gotta say nothing else. One of the best to ever do it. Over to you, Scotty D.
I'm just going to finish with a complaint. Can we stop already with the Miller Lite It Is Both commercials? I cannot watch a sporting event without seeing Jorge Posada and Big Poppy walking down the middle. Taste great, less filling. It is both. It is both. Enough. That commercial was funny the first two times, and now it is just merciless. It's killing me, Miller Lite. Killing me. You're driving me to drink. Be live.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It is both. It is both.
Oh man.
Real quick, what? Scotty D. What's worse? It is both or Pete Zacharine?
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that one. Sheesh. This is pretty brutal.
What about some paint? Bear, 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 bear. Bear, 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 bear. No.
Yeah, you know what was one I used to hate that was Dilly Dilly. Remember you couldn't get enough Dilly Dilly. It wasn't just one commercial, it was like 12 of them in a row. Dilly Dilly, it was not funny. Dilly Dilly was never funny.
No.
Oh, my third and final pepper point. Y'all know how I like to do things.
I stand by that.
Well, you remember I mentioned earlier in past previous shows that college football bowl game, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, the Gin and Juice Bowl. The Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg presents Gin and Juice Bowl. Well, in the music world, there's always one-upmanship where y'all guys got a bowl named after your drink. I'm going to have an entire stadium named after me. And this artist, real name Armando Christian Perez, better known as Mr. 305, Pitbull, has bought the naming rights to Florida International University for the next 5 years. Their stadium will now be known as Pitbull Stadium for the next 5 years.
Yes. I'm glad it was him that did it, not Cool Mo D.
What is going on in the world today?
Stadium.
Mr. 305.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped to go to Pitbull Stadium.
At that night I want you tonight. like I think by contractual obligation, the team has to come out to one of Pitbull's songs. I guess it has to be.
Does he have more than one, or he just has the uno, dos, tres? Does he have another one after that?
Yeah.
He has quite a few songs out there.
Okay.
But now we got artists, rappers that are buying naming rights to the stadium. Rick Ross, you're next. Rose. You know he's got it. That just seems like a Rick Ross move to do. Maybach music.
I'm not about to do that. Every time the stadium comes on TV, they have a flyover. Maybach, no. We're not doing that. It was cool back in 2011. Not as much now. Now.
Florida International University. Yeah, that's my third and final pepper point. Pitbull Stadium.
Next year it'll be a half a gram of that ooh-wee and Swisher Sweet Bowl next year. So be careful. You better watch out. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another X-Packed episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you for listening, watching, do everything. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can't do something nice for someone else, they're greatly appreciated now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. This is the Sports Bros Podcast. Also, while you're at it, listen to the Nothing to Do podcast, the Wellness Check Wednesday podcast, and of course, the Connoisseurs of Pro Wrestling podcast, and the Sports Perspective podcast too. So y'all stay tuned.
Am I on any of them?
You can be. You can be. Both of you will be. Be live. Take us home.
Yes, sir.
It's football season, y'all. Not too far away from high school football, neither. Stay tuned. Hey, y'all take care. Goodbye. Enjoy yourself.
305 worldwide.
305 my. Hey, it's Eddie Cool here from the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you for listening, and as always, continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just click the link in the description box and keep up with the Sports Bros Podcast. And once again, thanks for listening.